question that's kind of been looming around in certain groups and around is, let's talk transportation, the transportation package, and what all, people are critical of that, and I guess tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, the Congressional District 2 has somewhere between 30 and 40,000 miles of roads, and I don't really know how many bridges. I'm going to say hundreds, if not thousands, and we have to have those roads. We have to, because we can't get from Burns to Bend, and we can't get from Burns to Lakeview, we can't get from Grants Pass down to Medford. We've got to have roads, and we have a lot of them. And one of the things that people don't understand unless you are from this district is just how far everything is from somewhere else. Like today, I drove 2 hours and 10 minutes to get from Ontario to right where we're sitting right now. How fast did I drive? Well, the speed limit is 65. I may have gone over that just a little, several times. And why was I able to do that without ever slowing down on that road? And the answer is because it's a really good road. It's a state highway. It's in great shape. And why is that? And the answer is because we invest in our roads. It's a piece of infrastructure we have to have. Now, those roads don't just magically appear. They have to be paid for. And one of the things I was able to do with Greg Barretto's help, Representative Barretto, some years ago, was increase the speed limit. It used to be 55 on all these roads. It would take you forever. I helped, in fact, I sat down in my office in Salem with a magic marker, and I outlined the roads on a map that were going to increase from 55 to 65. And I took that down to Legislative Council and said, here you go. This is the roads we want to increase our speed limit on. And that's how it happened. Because then I added that to Greg Barretto's bill that increased the speed limit on the freeway. Why were we able to do this? Because our roads are so good. Our roads are great. And then when the safety people came in, Troy Costalis is his name, he's an ODOT employee, a wonderful guy. He came in and said, Representative Bentz, because I was in the House at the time, if you allow people to go faster, they're going to be in more danger as they drive. I said, Troy, you may remember that you have constantly asked us to upgrade our roads, fix the curves, and our cars are so much safer by virtue of airbags and everything else. Can't we go faster? And although he was not willing to be his job is not to have us go faster. But the truth is, our roads allow us to do so. And this allows us to get to places where we need to be much faster, saving all kinds of time, which we then can put to other more productive uses than just sitting there and driving. Anyway, long story, thank goodness we got the money for our roads and our bridges. By the way, ODOT had given us some figures before we passed the transportation package. To replace all of our bridges in our system would have taken exactly, give or take a few years, 700 years. 700 years. Most people probably don't know that the life of a bridge is not 700 years. It's a lot closer to 100 years. So as we were going through and replacing bridges before the transportation package, that's how long it would have taken. After the transportation package, we reduced that time by a significant amount. Certainly not down to 100 years. But you know why? Because the amount that we asked for in the package that people pay had to be a modest amount. And why? Because you've got to pay your bills. And you have to, some people say, we're not going to do this. We don't want to have to pay more money. What they're really saying is, let's abandon the assets our parents, our grandparents built for us. Let's let them just crumble into, why would we inherit a wonderful asset, a wonderful road system from our parents and then let it crumble? Why would we do such a thing? The transportation package was designed to make sure we didn't let that happen. And so there are many good things in it. There's hundreds of millions of dollars that were driven into, will be invested in CD2 as a result of that package. I'm very happy for the time and effort it took. It's a good thing for the infrastructure of our part of the state.
Representative Shelley Bossart-Davis had brought up, you talked about the unique needs of transportation in CD2 and what you've done, but she wants to know maybe what would you do in DC about that? About transportation? Mm-hmm.
Well, I joined the president. President Trump is mentioning, in fact, I heard him today talk about, maybe it was last night, talk about a new infrastructure bill, $700-800 billion. And this is this is something that is absolutely essential. I want to point out that the transportation package that we passed in 2017, the analogy that was used is that our entire system of roads in Oregon, whether it's U.S. highways or state highways or county roads, and by the way, the transportation package funneled millions of dollars back into our county roads. That entire system has been likened to a sinking ship going down kind of like this because it's gradually falling apart. And when we passed that package, we changed the downward direction of that ship a little. We didn't stop it. So our entire system is still crumbling, only more slowly, because now we have more money to put into trying to keep it together. If the president is successful, and if I get to go back and help him, I would do everything I could to make his efforts to build up infrastructure successful. Then we could perhaps level out the sinking ship of our roads. And this is incredibly important over here in CD2 because we have tens of thousands of miles of roads. And if we can't jump in our car or wherever it is and go to wherever we need to get, our economy will come to a halt. The bridges in particular, and I've often said, if a bridge goes out between here and John Day, it's a long way around, a long way. So the point is we have to maintain this infrastructure that we rely upon every day, called roads. And by the way, I want to go back to our president. That he's talked about infrastructure from the first day he got into office, because it's a really important thing, and he gets it. And it's not just roads. It should be our dams and our reservoirs. It should be our pipelines. It should be a whole bunch of stuff that needs a lot of attention. So I'm very happy he's talking about it.